Neither can I.
to our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go over the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Welcome and good morning to those joining us on the live stream. We bring in the new year by exploring all the ways we experience change in our lives and the way that we are shaped and reshaped time and time again. Today we'll think about how stories emerge and move within us and throughout our lifetimes. And if any of you have looked over at this table and noticed a basket that's filled with tantalizing little pods of something, yes, it's Play-Doh. Yes, it's for the adults. And yes, if you're a child going to Kids Dig In, we'll have Play-Doh in Throop Hall after the service. We would love for you to stay connected with your Throop community. And if you're new, we invite you to fill out an info card. It's in the pew right there in front of you. If you're online, you can fill out the online guest book. And if you're here in the room, you can turn that info card in a little bit later in the service when we take the offering. Each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of hope and witness. The flame from our chalice is not static. Its glow changes colors as the bits of wax change temperature. The fire dances in the air, yet it is steady. Light reminds us that we gather in peace, in thanks, in hope, in celebration. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and still is the home of the Gabrielino Tonga band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
Our opening hymn is 347, Gather the Spirit. You're invited to rise gently as body and spirit allow. And if you are singing, masks are strongly encouraged. Number 347, Gather the Spirit, please rise.
Gather
gathering into the space, turn gently to your neighbor and welcome them into worship. Into their lives, and they're not here today because baby Leo did what babies do and was up late last night needing care and attention. And so Terrence and the band really joyfully said yes to offering the child sliding words and the responsive reading. And the responsive reading is On Pain by Khalil Gibran. And the congregation's response is Open Us to the Ongoing Reshaping of Our Lives. So let's try that together. Open us to the ongoing reshaping of our lives.
And a person spoke, saying, Tell us of pain. And they said, Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. Open us to the ongoing reshaping of our lives. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy, and you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your fields, and you would watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. Open us to the ongoing reshaping of our lives. Much of your pain is itself chosen. It is bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician, and drink the remedy in silence and tranquility. For their hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen, and the cup they bring, though it burns your lips, has been fashioned of the clay with which the potter has moistened with their own sacred tears.
Open us to the ongoing reshaping of our lives. Thank you, Jen. Well, as I mentioned today, we're going to talk about change in our lives, and that's the theme of this whole month, this first January of 2023, how we navigate change and how we can be flexible. And probably all of this room have experienced a time when something unusual happened in our lives. It was not on our to-do list. We hadn't made it as a goal. We hadn't anticipated. Something really out of the ordinary came upon us. And so it was up to us in that moment to discover how we would navigate it. And as painful as some of those out of the ordinary times can be, they can also be times that we get to practice being flexible, being creative, and maybe even being a little bit fun with whatever it is that's happening. And so I have in my hand the teeniest, tiniest, like, hello, who here can see this other than Dre that I'm standing right in front of? Maureen can see it. All right, yes. Well, it's a little tiny, thank you, Ida can see it too. It's a little green Gumby. Thank you, Megan, for bringing this from your own collection. Who remembers or knows who Gumby is? Jane and Denise and Megan and Rachel, look at all these people, and I'm just gonna come right over. Who's Gumby? Did you share their name?
I did. I love Gumby. I always thought, well, Gumby was a TV show when I was a kid, and I didn't know Gumby was so fun. And then my friend used to dress up like Gumby at Westwood Boulevard as a performance artist, and he became a close friend.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gumby was a TV show. And one of the cool things about Gumby is that Gumby was made out of clay. And Gumby could become almost any shape that Gumby wanted to be. And as if that weren't cool enough, Gumby then could also go back into Gumby's clay ball shape and then reemerge as the next shape that Gumby wanted to be. What an interesting thing for us to think about as we're thinking about change and how we can maybe reshape our own selves in times of change. And we're going to have a little embodied practice here. And I'm wondering if there's someone who wants to help me. This Gumby's not as flexible as I would like it to be, but Gumby, I am not being critical of you and all of who you are as a Gumby. It's just not as flexible as maybe he thought he or they needed to be, but there you go. Does anybody want to give me a little help? Because I'd love to have Gumby go into a little bit of a shape, and then whoever is going to hold the Gumby, Clara, will make some kind of shape with your arms. Yeah, come on. And then the rest of the congregation is as your body will allow you to. Whatever shape Clara decides to make with her arms, let's all do that with Clara. This is a way for us to practice being flexible. Yeah, so okay, you can see Clara, and if you're with us at home, do this. Okay, and how about let's now, if it works for you to change your arms. And then Clara, you want to give us another shape with your arms? Oh, all the way up. Oh, that feels good. Yeah. And then if you're feeling bold and your body allows, maybe to take them all the way down. Ooh, hey, going all the way down to your toes. I just saw an article somewhere about how important flexibility is in our bodies as we age. And Clara, one more for the road. Oh, sideways over here. And the sideways over here. Thank you, Clara. And I'll take the baby. So maybe changes are going to come our way in 2023, maybe in those moments we can just take a pause and be like Gumby and stretch out our arms and welcome a little bit of the uncertainty that comes with it. And today our children and our program leader, Lynn Weber, they're going to be going upstairs to our beautiful children's classrooms. We're going to be learning about trees and the ecosystem, and trees are pretty flexible too. And we sing them out, and those songbirds are really of worship. You shall go out in joy. You shall go out in joy and come back in peace. And come back in peace. You shall go out in joy. You shall go out in joy and come back in peace. And come back in peace. This morning's pondering moment comes from Throop participant Kesa Foot Racer. And it's called Tuesday Resolutions. Tuesday resolutions, not the same cachet as New Year's ones. No magazine pieces on losing resentment or losing 10 pounds. No tips for this average day for joy or 1 month of green smoothies. What if we started now, each day anew, not just once a year, this commitment to ourselves, to each other, in the magnificent mundane? This church is our spiritual and religious home, and we support it through our gifts of time, our gifts of talent, and our gifts of treasure. For those of you who are able to make a financial contribution this morning, thank you so much. And you can make that contribution online, and Jamal will put the link in the live stream chat. You can also find ways to give in your order of worship. And if you're here in the room, you can make a donation here. The offering plate is about to come down the aisle. And if you would like your donation to be counted towards your annual pledge, please use one of those green envelopes and make sure your name and pledge is on it. And Jim Lethan is holding it up for all to see, the green envelope card. If you're a first-time visitor, please let the plate pass you by, and the offering will now be gratefully received. the spirit of gratitude, we lift up those that are giving extra support to today's worship service. We thank Jamal, our live stream operator, Taryn for offering words and worship, Wendy and Melanie for greeting and ushering, Lynn for leading our children's program, Cynthia for our copying and conversation hosting, Megan on music, and Hillary for all of her administrative support. As we give thanks for our offering and for all the ways we give life to our Throop community, please say with me the response to the offering. The words are in the order of worship. For the ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And I invite you to take a breath in and exhale. In the midst of this moment of gratitude, we also arrived at a point in our worship where we get to practice being flexible. This congregation has a practice of saying a promise to our planet every Sunday. Some of you haven't memorized. Some of you have never heard it before, and my apologies that it's not in the order of worship this morning. And so this is just an opportunity for those of you that don't have it emblazoned on your heart yet to just sit and to hear the words as they are spoken near and around you. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. I invite you again to take a breath in and to exhale. And in this moment to allow space for a voice still and small to come into your heart and into your being. This is our centering hymn this morning. It's number 391. And please join in as your heart and voice allow. As you take a breath in and exhale. Letting go of whatever was grabbing at you this morning, emails, to-do lists, chores and tasks around the house. The only thing expected of you in this moment is for you to just be here in this room with yourself, feeling the energy of those around you, feeling the energy of the spirit of life. Into this moment of stillness, may we connect with the still, small voice that resides in us all. The rains of last week, so desperately needed by humans, by our earth, animals, creatures of the waters, brought us into a change of season, a change of year. Some of us took deep sighs of relief. Some of us worried for those without shelter. Even as we rejoiced that reservoirs were slowly rising, we held our breath as we watched our neighbors to the north manage flooding and water damage. And in this moment of stillness, we hold all those impacted with care and compassion. At the turn of the year, with change all around us, we hold in a circle of care and compassion all of those experiencing change as a result of civic policies and laws. May these be supported in their search for good outcomes. We hold in our circle of care and compassion all of those experiencing change because of their work. And may they know their sacred worth no matter the chaos of unsettled circumstances. We hold in our circle of care and compassion all of those who are experiencing change due to their health. And may they feel the power of our healing love and care. As we continue to breathe into this shared stillness and silence, may we offer up the deepest yearnings of our hearts. Breath of life and breath of love. When we have hesitated to reach out or try to be flexible or not opening to adjusting our own lives to allow more freedom for others, forgive us and remind us that we are forgiven. Help us in the days to come make room for the changes of time. Make room for those that have ways that are different from ours. Help us remember that we are sacred beings, that we are fashioned and made for changing the world for the better. May we be open and willing to embrace the light, the change, and the fullness of our lives. Amen. This year, those of us in and around Pasadena got not one, but what felt like 2 New Year's celebrations. We got our regular one last Saturday, which was New Year's Eve. Sunday was, of course, New Year's Day. But since that fell on a Sunday, it meant the Rose Parade was moved to Monday. So then Sunday night was also kind of like a New Year's Eve, and then Monday was like a New Year's Day. And I've been confused all week about what day it is. And where am I? And what year is it? Were we supposed to make a resolution on Sunday or on Monday? Or maybe for good measure this year in 2023, we were supposed to make it on both days? I know that for myself, I have a ritual every year, a tradition of eating black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. My mom and my grandmother insisted that that would give me a good New Year. And so this year, yes, I had them on Sunday and I had them again on Monday. 2 big helpings. So friends, I did it for is called Turning the Corner. And so in part that theme acknowledges the dramatic turn that the floats take at the corner of Orange Grove and Colorado. And then it was also an aspirational theme that maybe finally this year we will turn the corner on this pandemic that we have been living through for the past 100 years, I think it is now, maybe. And as we turn the corner into a new year, gives us an opportunity to reflect on our lives. To reflect once again, are we showing up in the world in the way we want to with integrity? Are we showing up in our relationships with our friends and our families in a way that really honors and acknowledges the depth of those relationships? And are we showing up in our lives as fully as we can for our own selves? Well, if you are thinking you have some work to do in any of those areas, now is a great time for a New Year realignment. The world seems fresh and new. It stretches out in front of us, full of possibilities, and making changes in our lives right now feels exciting and doable. Maybe you want to be more organized. Maybe you realize that each week you throw a lot of food out from your refrigerator and you're going to do everything you can to cut down some on that food waste. Full disclosure, that's mine. Maybe you decided that you're going to start or renew a meditation practice here in the new year. I like to think about these New Year's goals not so much as resolutions, which to me start feeling like a to-do list that then kind of shames and shoulds me into these things, but I like to think of them as intentions and reminders that just help us gently shape the ongoing stories of our lives. That these help us bring to life stories that we are proud of and that reflect all of who we are and who we hope to be. Last weekend, a friend and I shared some of our New Year's intentions, and I realized that mine don't seem that new from year to year. They seem to be variations on themes like find balance, make space to breathe into each and every day, and to schedule open space on my calendar. And I'm wondering if any of you all in the room have a practice of making intentions or resolutions or goals at the turning of the year. Anyone? Over your cup of tea? Yes. And now that we're a year. See, what year is it? Now that we're 6 or 7 days into it, how are you feeling about them? Do they still feel lively? And do they still kind of catch hold of you and seem like there's something you want to work toward? Yeah, maybe, no. Well, however you want to name these, intentions, resolutions, realignments, they speak to our belief that we can and do reshape and mold our lives. Like a potter working with a piece of clay, each of us is always in process, shaping and then reshaping the life that wants to live in us. Edmund DeWall is a ceramicist and describes the process of coaxing a form out of a piece of clay. He writes, I make porcelain. I sit at my wheel. I turn, and there are my boards of porcelain vessels still damp. They gleam softly, and then I ask myself, what story shall I tell? What is tellable and what is untellable? What do I pick up and where do I put it down? When first sitting down at the wheel, the potter has an idea, a plan for the clay, this beautiful shape that will come into being by the force of their hands and the turn of a wheel. And as the clay takes form, It responds to the potter's hands. It responds to the speed of the wheel, to the amount of water being used. And in the process, the clay has its own say in the story being told. Every single one of you is in the midst of the most complex, nuanced story of your life. And I know that not one of us in this room is living a story that we would have written out for ourselves from start to finish. Parts of it, I think, yes, moving for a new job, applying for graduate school, taking in a new animal, embarking on new adventures. But I doubt any of us would have written in those other storylines, the ones that cause so much pain, like heartbreak that comes, sudden grief, jobs that were lost, mistakes that we made. Can't we go back and rewrite those? No matter where you are now or what you've done in the past, no matter how much suffering you have endured or how much grief you have carried, you are shaped by those experiences, yes, but you don't become the shape of them. You are not your grief. You are not your depression. You are not your heartbreak. And you are not your addiction. You are always in process. Tim Atkins, a Unitarian Universalist religious leader and a pottery maker, shares a lesson that he's learned at the potting wheel. He wrote, "The most important lesson pottery has taught me is to not be attached to the finished product. There are a lot of places in the process of making wheel-form pottery where something different than what you expected can happen. You never know how the final product will look until it comes out of the kiln. Each time I put a piece into the kiln with a certain expectation, I have always been disappointed. When I don't care really how it looks in the end, I end up pleasantly surprised. I can't be attached to those final outcomes. The process matters more than the final product." Like the clay taking shape with each turn of the potter's wheel, we become more of who we are meant to be with each experience, with each unexpected outcome, with each passing of the year. What stories do you want to bring to life in 2023? Each Sunday this month, we'll have a time of contemplation where we get to think about change in our lives. And today, we're going to have a little bit of that contemplation by working with some Play-Doh. And Dre and Marissa will pass out some little tubs of it to you in the congregation. And as the Play-Doh comes to you, just take a moment in stillness and reflection, and make a shape that represents some kind of past story, some kind of past dream, a past you that is just no longer working in your life or a part of your life. Make that shape of something that once was. And once you have shaped that past goal, that past you, that past purpose, only we could really do this. Take that past whatever and then just be like envy and put it back in the shape of a ball again. And what new purpose, what new story is calling you in 2023? What's ready to find new life in your heart, in your mind, in your hands? And whatever you think that might be, even if it's vague and you only have a little idea of what shape it could be, start shaping that with your Play-Doh. With us at home, you can find some Play-Doh or something to shape there around you or in the days to come. I invite you to do this practice as well. And those of you in the room that had your Play-Doh, you get to take it with you today. I'm Denise, I love. She's so excited. Yes, Denise is having it for Play-Doh. Take it home, and for those of you that have maybe a journaling practice or a practice of sitting with tea in the morning or coffee and the paper, just take a few breaths and play with your Play-Doh, remembering that we have the ability to be flexible, to change, and that we are forever shaping and reshaping the story of our lives. May it be so, and happy 2023 to you. Our closing hymn is May Your Life Be as a Song. No, it's My Life Goes On in the song. And it's number 108, Flexible. Wave your arms around as you sing, please rise. It's number 108.
Thank you.
From the gospel according to Gumby, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not reign. Go into the week singing, spreading joy, celebrating life. I love you all. Go out and live the world. Amen and blessed be.